Hey guys, so welcome to a introductory video for the next project we're going to be working on. I know a lot of people were like, hey, weren't you going to build like a Super GT car or something, like a Nissan? It's sitting over here. It's it's in the same state it was when I made that video. I gotta admit, I'm like the worst person when it comes to making videos before I start working on cars. I should probably never do that, but hey, here we are again. So what we're going to be doing is building this. The new Tamiya NSX. We'll be doing it Acura specs. I want to say of course, but I guess it's there might be some people out there want to build it in the JDM Honda right-hand drive fashion, even here in the United States. But we'll be building it Acura left-hand drive spec. Couple reasons we're going to do this. One, we got some parts in for this kit, which I'm going to show you here in a second. And two, I'm not confidently sure I will be tending NNL East. It was something I would like to do. Still need to chit-chat with a few people, including my work, to see if I can get the time off to go, because anybody who pays attention knows I work weekends now. So, you know, not necessarily going for sure, but there, of course, the Diversified Scalers guys are going to have a Honda display, the same one they had for their show in the fall. They've been invited back to NNL to do the parking lot display again. This qualifies, of course, as a Honda for that. Plus, it's just a kit I'd like to get, done in the sense of I like the car, and I've got some upgrade stuff for it. So, we'll see. We'll see where we get with it. We're supposed to have a little spate of good weather here, so my plan is to continue the videos along as I go and try to actually work on it more than I don't, and try to get it painted here when the weather breaks next week. If I can manage to get it painted, well, then it's just, it's a snowball downhill from there, because obviously once you have the car painted, for somebody who paints outside like I do, the rest of it is just, cake, so to speak, getting things done. So, like I said, we have the NSX. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building this box stock effectively. And then we have a couple of things we picked up for it. This will be one of two NSXs that I'll build eventually. I say two because I picked up these. These are the interwoven wheels from Playmos. They are the optional wheel set, if you will, for the NSX. These have the BBS wheels that the car comes with. These are the other set of wheels you can get from the factory. And why am I not putting them in this kit? Well, if you guys remember the picture I showed you a really long time ago, which is this picture here, I liked the fact that the black car has the BBSs and the blue car has the interwovens, and I know Gravity makes the color for the interwovens in this picture, that blue. And so I don't know if I'll really actually, paint it with the Gravity colors, because that sort of puts me off, obviously, until I get a paint booth and airbrush stuff set up. And I have an airbrush and a compressor. I really need a paint booth before, I really don't need to go buy another thing. Although mine's an old single action suction feed rather than being a nice double action Gravity. But it's workable. So what else we got for it is this set of decals. This is the new Studio27 Carbon Fiber Decal set for the NSX. There are a few things here that you may choose to use or not use depending on what kind of look you're going for. Obviously, you have a hood decal here for the actual hood itself, and these decals off the side, on both sides there, they fit into the vents to make the vents, carbon fiber. And then there is a trunk decal that also is not part of the actual package. The roof decal, which is this one right here, that is required by the car. I'm pretty sure the kit actually comes with one, but there's a replacement. So what is all the rest of this stuff? Well, this up here is interior pieces for the steering wheel and the dashboard. These right here are the diffuser fins, and then this part right here with the holes is actually like the chassis pan itself that fits over the diffuser fins. I don't know how well it'll show up on here, but there's actually some nice bolt detail. It's not going to show up because too much glare off of the packaging here. I'm not going to take the decals out. And then this whole area in the middle is all of that engine cover, that clear engine cover, to carbon fiber the engine compartment itself. So we'll flip it around here and you see you've got all those decals for the engine cover. There's also a decals for the front lip itself, the hood decals for the service decal, if you'll put it there. There is the interior decal for the instrument panel, the decals for the steering wheel itself, and then this shows your roof decal, your trunk service decal, if you want to put it there, really would be your engine hood decal, and then over here shows you all of the diffuser fins and everything else that goes there, and then there's a little carbon wrap for the exhaust itself so that you carbon fiber basically the whole back half of the car. And then we also got this, which is the new Hobby Design detail upset for the Tamiya NSX, and this is quite a it's $40, so it's quite a bit of stuff. Might be a little bit too much for some people, but be that as it may, you get a new set of brakes, resin brakes, and brake calipers, and then you have some seatbelt buckle, you know, the receptacle end that you would use on that you plug your seatbelt into. This stuff in the background, the gray stuff back here, is seatbelt material. So you have like I said, you have resin calipers and rotors to replace the kit parts. I don't know if I'm going to go that far. I have to compare the parts, and then you have several sheets of Photoetch. Whoop, jeez, I just dropped a bunch of it. So once you recover all your Photoetch off the floor, this is the directions for it. You see, up here is the assembly for the brakes, and then they actually give you some new fins. If you don't want to use the kit things, you can replace all of the diffusers, and there's some stuff for the interior. You make this fancy cup holder. That's a nice touch, I guess. And then you have some Photoetch for like the headlight area. Make your wipers, your floor, your pedals, your instrument panel. Here's your replacing the paddle shifters, replacing the mirror faces, putting the mesh on the top of the dashboard, and then they have, most importantly to me, was the mesh cutouts for the engine cover, so that you're not using the decals that come with the kit. And then, of course, you're replacing all of the mesh for the grills and stuff like that, front and back, and the side intakes and all of that stuff. So you're not using those weird mesh decals. And then there's sort of final assembly instructions on how to put the brake calipers on the brakes and stuff. So there's, like I said, a bunch of different little Photoetch sheets here. There's this one. Now this has your Honda logos and your Acura logos and your seatbelt buckles and a couple other things here. This has a little blue tint to it. These are adhesive backed Photoetch, so you can they're quasi metallic stickers basically. I mean they're Photoetch. It's metal, but they, like I said, they have a adhesive back to them. That'll be nice, especially with the Honda and Acura scripts. Not having to try to figure out how to glue it onto the body. I'm not sure how well those will actually work. I've never used a set of Hobby Design Photoetch before, but it's an interesting concept. And then there are a couple of sheets that are what I consider to be regular Photoetch, in the sense that they're sort of heavy-duty Photoetch. There's this set here, which has those new diffuser fins, if you choose to use them, as well as plates, and has your pedal assemblies there for your brake and your gas, your clutch. I guess really be a dead pedal, because I don't think this car has a clutch per se, like so many, newer cars. And then you have this set it's heavy-duty Photoetch as well, and this is like your brake faces. One option of the front vents. There are two options for that. Here's your paddle shifters, your mirror faces, that fancy pants cup holder. The back, sort of a front, if you will, to the gas pedal. Basically, it assembles something like this, where it lays over the other one. and then you have your wipers up here. Then you have two incredibly, this was not really, this is thinner, and this has basically all your vents on it. You know, it has your front, another set of options. You can use either one. This one has a set of like pins on the bottom, so you can fold it up and actually get it to attach. These are the front, this is the back, or actually this is the middle front that has the license plate. And then these are your side intakes and your speaker faces and your little NSX logos for the brake calipers and stuff like that. This is pretty thin. And then you have this, which is the actual the actual engine cover sheet. And this is like, I don't want to bend it and break it, but I mean, this is like almost a malleable non-metal product at this point. It is so incredibly thin. I've talked to people about these, and they're like, well, most Hobby Design sets come with these, and then these are completely and totally useless because you'll never get to use them because they're so incredibly fragile. And now I can't get the camera to focus on it anymore. And so what this has is your little center mesh for the dashboard, your speaker grills, some more side intake manifold, side intake. Actually, this is the side of the engine intake, and then these ones on here on the bottom are all the engine intake pieces. Your navs, your sat nav screen, if you want to replace that. And like I said, this is just, I don't know if it's going to make enough noise to hear it, but it's just so incredibly flimsy. The challenges of Photoetch. I know there's a group on Facebook that's like model car memes, and you know, some of those jokes are pretty funny, some of them are not, and it all depends on how you look at it. A lot of stuff sort of derived more towards the IPMS end of things as far as making jokes about airplanes and things like that. But let me get all this put back in this little nice little teeny tiny envelope so I don't lose any of it. But that's what the project is going to be. We're going to start working on it here next couple of days. This is my weekend now, as it's Monday. I got to get my kids out of school and actually probably be sleeping the rest of today. But Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm going to diligently try to get some time in to work on it because my wife will be at work and my kids will be at school. So I'll at least get a couple hours a day of peace and quiet. So hopefully I can actually get myself into the basement. So anyway, guys, that's what we're going to be working on here for the spring. Got a bunch of other stuff that we'll be piddling along with too. The Super GT car, because usually once I get started on one thing, I'll end up building a bunch of things at once, just, you know, sort of keep my motivation going. And then it becomes anyone's guess as to what will actually capture my attention and actually be the thing I finish. But let's try to get a few things done. The surroundings are getting deeper, as it were, and some stuff needs to get built here. So anyway, guys, that's what we got. We'll see you on the other side.